ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. In last class, we discussed introduction to estimate and different types of estimation and what is the meaning of that. Everything is to be discussed in the previous classes. Now again we can recall that particular session now. The introduction in estimation. What is the meaning of estimation? Estimation is the probable cost that is already we discussed. Now what are the types of estimates we discussed? Plinth area estimate, cube rate estimate, detailed estimate, preliminary estimate, supplementary estimate, and revised estimate, annual maintenance cost maintenance estimates. These are all some types of the estimates that is discussed in the previous classes. And also regarding that some assignment is also given to you, and I hope everyone is answered correctly in all the multiple choice questions. Now we can proceed with the this topic session. In this session we can discuss methods of taking out of measurements, units of measurements, and then the multiple choice questions which is related to these methods of taking out measurements and units of measurements. In the estimation subject, these units are also very important. Already these units, various types of units are studied in the first year itself. Even in science subjects you studied all these things, FKS system, MPS systems, and SI units. All these you studied in the first semester itself, science subject. First and second semester in the science subject you studied. Now I am not once again explaining in detail that systems and applicability in the construction, in the estimation. Its applicability in the estimations now I am discussing. Now what are the methods of taking out of measurements for obtaining the quantities? The procedure by which the quantities of the various item in a particular structure are worked out is known as taking out of measurement of the quantities, known as the taking out of the quantities. Now what are the general rules for taking out quantities? What are the various rules which is to be applicable in while measuring the each item's units? There are several points you have to be considered. Some rules, set of guidelines are there. Based on that, you have to be measured. Measurement shall be item wise for finished item of work. Measurement shall be item wise for finished item of work. That means in different item clubbing and afterwards you are assigning the units. Not at all, not like that. It is item wise for finished item of work. While recording dimensions, length, breadth, depth in sequence, that is very important. Length, breadth, depth of the each item, you have to record it in order wise or sequence. All works dimensions shall be measured to nearest 0.01 meter. All works dimensions shall be measured to nearest 0.01 meter. That should keep it in mind. These are very important. Why means after doing the estimation, say after doing the estimations, each and everywhere the quantities will be getting, but you have to express in terms of units, whether it is in meter cube or it is in meter square or it is in meter, running meter, or in terms of numbers. Like that you have to be measure. Therefore these units are very important for a civil engineer as well as in the estimation subject. Now areas shall worked out nearest to 0.01 meter square. Say one room area, for example, 10 into 10 meter square, and its length it may be 10.01 into 10.01 dimension is there. Under that circumstances, area calculation, what you are getting the final quantity in the area wise, it is nearest to 0.01 meter square. That should keep it in mind. Cubical content is calculated nearest to 0.01 meter cube, 0.01 meter cube. Nearest to that cubical content is to be recorded. Same type of work in different conditions recorded separately. There are in case of RCC beams, RCC lintels, like that, there are same item is same, work is same, but its main item is different. Work is all RCC related, for example, RCC lintel, RCC beam, like that, but lintel is different, beam is different. That one we have to write it and record it separately. Adu correct agi ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕಾದ ವಿಚಾರ. Next, the bell of quantities accurately represents the work executed. In the case of structural concrete work, each category measured separately. See here, this is very important thing. From foundation to plinth level, you have to write and measure separately. Plinth level to first floor, plinth level to plus first floor, that is also recorded separately. First floor to second floor is also you have to be recorded separately, and so on you have to continue. For if it is in the case of 10th floor or 15th floor project is there, under that circumstances, this sequence you have to be remember. This sequence you have to be remember. These are the some set of guidelines you have to be remember while measuring the quantities. In estimation is itself, it tells it is a probable cost. Sometimes what you are dealing, it is a the quantity which is measured exactly what it is there, like that, not like that. It is nearest value. That for that reason itself, they mention nearest value. It is the probable cost. Now, for a various item of work, we can discuss what are the units are there. By using which units we have to measure in different item of work. ಈಗ ಬೇರೆ ಐಟಮ್ ಇದೆ, ಅರ್ತ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅರ್ತ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಫಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಕಾಂಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಕೂಡ ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾವುದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಳತೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ದಟ್ ಒನ್ ನೌ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬಿ consider. Now, here first one, earthwork excavation. Which unit is to be used to measure? Earthwork shall be taken in meter cube. That should keep it in mind. Length, breadth, depth shall be measured to get cubical content. Length, breadth, depth shall measured to get the cubical content. Length into breadth into depth ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ನಮಗೆ earthworkನ quantity ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. But its unit is now meter cube. Similarly, earthwork in filling. Earthwork for foundation shall be taken in meter cube. Earthwork in foundation, whether it is filling irbodu or it may be in excavation irbodu. And in both the cases, the units are to be taken in terms of meter cube. How much filling you have to be considered after basement, everything is to become a foundation constructed, and inside portion up to the plinth you have to fill it, is it right? By using sand or it may be soil, you have to fill it. But how much you can fill it, how much you have to take? In general, quantity is usually taken as 1/5 of volume of earth in excavation. 1/5 of volume of earthwork in excavation is taken as earthwork in filling. That should keep it in mind. Very important thing this is. When you are doing the estimation, soil filling, how you can compute? Soil filling, generally we are computing 1/5 of the earthwork excavation of respective items. Earthwork excavations. Next, concrete. The foundation concrete, it is to be measured in cubic meter. Foundation concrete is measured in cubic meter or meter cube. Plain cement concrete, RCC lintel, beam, column is measured in meter cube. RCC stair, whether it is in meter cube or any other unit, RCC stair is in numbers. In terms of numbers we are measuring. Damp-proof course is generally measured using meter squares. Damp-proof course is generally measured using meter squared. In some of the cases, the thickness is giving for damp-proof. Under that circumstances only, it is to be measured in terms of meter cube. Next, brickwork. Brickwork, it is measured using cubic meter for 1 brick thick to 3 brick thick wall. 1 brick thick to 3 brick thick wall. 1 brick thick to 3 brick thick wall. It is to be measured in terms of cubic meter. The half brick partition wall and walls having a thickness less than half brick thick is measured in meter square. That should keep it in mind. Half brick partition wall and walls having a thickness less than half of the brick thickness is measured in meter square. Next, stonework. Stonework is measured in meter cube. Stonework is measured in meter cube. In most of the cases, stonework is measured in meter cube. The stoneworks for shelf, weather shed and slabs is measured in terms of meter square. It is a works, and for shelf is there, for weather shed is there, and slab is there. Under that circumstances, this stonework calculation is to be doing in terms of meter square. Thicknesses we are not considering. Next, woodwork. How to consider, how to tell the woodwork quantities. The rectangular wooden beams, vertical wooden posts, frame for doors, windows, ventilators, cupboards, etc. are measured in meter cube. See, because why means if it is teak wood or it may be any jack wood, under that circumstances its cost is also very more, money is also very more. That is also you have to keep it in mind. In general, woodworks having a thickness is always measured in terms of meter cube. Only in some of the cases, wooden stair is there. For example, wooden stair or wooden cornices. Wooden cornices is also there, or it may be rails, wooden rails and rails, side handrails, wooden rails, etc. are measured in running meter. ಈಗ 1 ಮೀಟರ್ 2 ಮೀಟರ್ಗೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ರನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮೀಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ, ಇನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮೀಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಮೀಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ರೇಟು ಅಂತ, ಆವಾಗ ಒಂದು 50 ಮೀಟರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈಡ್ ಬೈ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಐಟಮ್, ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಂಗ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಂಗ್? ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೆಜರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಮೀಟರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್. ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆನ್ಸ್, ಈಗ ಗೋಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೇವೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೇವೆ. ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸೈಡಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಚೀಪ್ ಗೆದ್ದು ಹೋಗಿರ್ತದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಟೈಪಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಸರ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಂಗ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಜನರಲಿ ಮೆಜರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೀಟರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಜನರಲಿ ಮೆಜರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೀಟರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್. Now plastering. Now what I told now, the plastering, how it is to be measured. Plastering is measured in always in meter square. For example, ಒಂದು ರೂಮ್ 10 into 5 ಇದೆ ರೂಮ್ ಡೈಮೆನ್ಷನ್. ಹೈಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? ಹೈಟ್ 3 ಮೀಟರ್ ಇದೆ. 3 ಮೀಟರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಹೈಟ್ 3 ಮೀಟರ್ ಇಂಟು ಬ್ರೆಡ್ತ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈಡ್ ಬೈ 2 ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಎರಡು ಸೈಡ್ನ ವಾಲ್ ಇದ್ದು ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನು ಉಳಿದ ಎರಡು ಸೈಡಿಗೆ height multiplied by the respective length ಅನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈಡ್ ಬೈ 2 ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಯ ಹೈಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಕೂಡ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲ್. Deductions are also very important. In detail I am not going to explain now deductions. At least some points I am highlighting. If the quantity of the plaster is in the same on both the sides of wall, opening in the walls are deducted once only. If the quantity of the plaster is the same on both the sides of wall, opening in the walls are deducted once only. That should keep it in mind. If the two sides of the walls are different types of plaster, 1/2 of the area of the opening is deducted. 1/2 of the area of the opening is deducted. 1/2 times of that area of the opening is to be deducted. The opening which are more than 3 meter square, 3 meter square. Under that circumstances, two sides you have to deduct separately, as well as measurements for top, bottom and sides are also be considered. Even very negligible portion, but that part is also be considered if the quantity is more than 3 meter square. Why means if it is more than 3 meter square, then the rate is also affects, it is costlier. Therefore, it directly affects in the estimation. Therefore, it is to be also considered. Next, steel work. What is steel work? In steel work is the generally window ಇಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ವೆಂಟಿಲೇಟರ್ ಇಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಕೇಸ್ನ ಸೈಡಲ್ಲಿ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಲ್ಸ್ ಇಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಅಂಡರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಈ ಸ್ಟೀಲ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇನ್ ಸ್ಟೀಲ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಗ್ರಿಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ವಿಂಡೋಸ್, ವೆಂಟಿಲೇಟರ್ and rolling steel shutters, steel doors, etc. It is measured in meter square. Steel work innu always measured in terms of meter square. Plain rolled section adre, plain rolled section adre ಅಥವಾ ಡಕ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಆದ್ರೆ it is to be measured in weight, because weight in quintals. ಇಷ್ಟು ಕ್ವಿಂಟಾಲಿಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ರೇಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವೆಯ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಕ್ವಿಂಟಾಲ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ರೂಫ್ ಕವರಿಂಗ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರೂಫ್ ಕವರಿಂಗ್? ಟಾಪ್ ರೂಫ್. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಮನೆ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೇವೆ, ಮನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಮನೆಯ ಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಬಿನ ಟಾಪ್, ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ರೂಫ್. ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ರೈಟ್? ರೂಫ್ ಕವರಿಂಗ್. ವಿಚ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಟು ಮೆಜರ್ ಇನ್ ರೂಫ್ ಕವರಿಂಗ್? ರೂಫ್ ಕವರಿಂಗ್, ಜನರಲಿ ರೂಫ್ ಕವರಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೆಜರ್ಡ್, roof covering is measured, not roof. Roof covering is measured in meter square. Ridges, hoops, valleys are measured in running meter. Ridges, hoops, valleys are measured in running meter. ಈಗ ಸಪೋಸ್ RCC ಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಇದೆ, RCC ಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ? ಇನ್ ಜನರಲ್ RCC ಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಮೆಜರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೀಟರ್ ಕ್ಯೂಬ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ thickness are giving maximum 5 inch. In general 5 inch thickness. Floor finish. What is that floor finish? The measurement for floor finish are taken in meter square. Floor finish, flooring ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ, ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕೋಟ್, ಫ್ಲೋರ್ ಫಿನಿಶ್ ಕೋಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹಾಕಿರ್ತೇವೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇದರ ಮೆಜರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ in meter square. Next, painting. Painting is measured in meter square. Painting generally measured in meter square or square meter. Painting is measured in square meter. For painting doors and windows, areas of uneven surface shall be converted into equivalent plane areas by multiplying the suitable pan coefficient. ಈಗ ಪೇಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಡೋರ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ವಿಂಡೋಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದರ ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ಅನ್ಇವೆನ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಫಾರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ it is converted into equivalent plane area. Adu equivalent to equivalent plane area. That multiplying constant is known as pan coefficient. Multiplying constant is known as the pan coefficient. This pan coefficient you have to be remember while doing the estimation. See here, this is the pan coefficient which is related to this. Panel door, framed and braced door, windows, etc. 1.3 for each side. Ledged and battened door, windows, etc. 1.3. Flush door 1.2. Partly paneled and partly glazed door 1 meter. Fully glazed 0.8 meter. Fully ventilated or lowered door 1.8 meter. One way or two way for printing all over. Trellis works. Next, carved or enriched work 2 for each side. Weather boarding 1.2 for each side. Wood single roofing 1.1 for each side. Boarding with cover, fillets and match boarding 1.05 for each side. Plain sheeted steel doors and windows 1.1 meter. Fully glazed or gauged steel doors and windows 0.5 for each side. Partly paneled and partly glazed or steel gauged doors and windows 0.8 on each side. Corrugated sheeted steel doors or windows 1.5 for each. Collapsible gates 1.5 for painting all over. Rolling shutters interlocked lathe 1.1 for each side. These are the some the units and its measurement which is to be considered, which is to be considered in this estimation subject. This is very very important because this is the introduction chapter. In this chapter itself you have to study all this material, all these things. Once you understood the what is estimate and its units, everything you understood once, then it is very easy while solving the problems. Next upcoming units having a problematic subject, especially in the case of rate analysis is problematic, and in the case of detailed estimate long wall short wall method as well as center line method, it is completely a problematic. In this subject, in that there are several items are coming. It may be foundation, from foundation to till top of the parapet. Until that, what are the various components are there, every component will be coming. Each and every component's estimation we have to do it, but at the each item of work having a their own unit, your unit in the sense each item of work having a different units. It may be woodwork, or it may be concrete work, or it may be masonry work. There are different, or in soil filling, earthwork excavation. Under that circumstances, each cases you have to be consider this units properly. Therefore, this studying of this particular units and measurements are very very essential for a civil engineer, because in spot itself, for example, after the completion of your diploma also, some of them are asking in which way we are measuring this item. At that spot itself you have to tell, like this you have to answer. In general, this item is measured in terms of meter cube, cubic meter, 1 cubic meter, like that you have to, what questions they are asked related to you, at that time immediately you have to ready to answer, that much thorough. For that reason you have to study in detail, unit wise, you have to remember all this. By hearting is also very difficult. Therefore, as much as early as possible you have to daily study it, and you have to remember, you have to try to remember all the units which is related to this subject. Now next topic is deductions, etc., etc. SR rate is also there, technical sanction. That one we can discuss it in the upcoming sessions. Now directly move on to multiple choice questions. Multiple choice questions. What are the you have to answer multiple choice questions. I will give the 10-second time. In 10 seconds you have to answer it. I hope you understood all these units what I covered in the session. From that particular session itself, these questions are there. Therefore, you have to try to answer all questions. Now move on to MCQ 2 multiple choice questions. Question number 1. Generally, unit of measurement for partition wall is dash. Partition wall. Generally, unit of measurement for partition wall is meter square. If half of the brick thickness is its partition wall thickness is always less than the thickness of the brick. Under that circumstances, always it is measured in terms of square meter. Now move on to second question. The volume is measured correct to nearest value dash. First one 0.01 meter cube. Second option 0.02 meter cube. Third option 0.03 meter cube. Fourth option 0.04 meter cube. 0.04 meter cube. Which is the correct answer? The volume is measured correct to the nearest 0.01 cubic or meter cube. 0.01 meter cube. Already in the initial slide itself we discussed this one. Next, question number 3. Woodwork for doors and windows is measured in dash. Woodwork for doors and windows is measured in dash. Answer: cubic meters, square meters, meters, lump sum. In lump sum, say lump sum means lump sum 100 rupees, lump sum 200 rupees, like that. Which is the correct answer? Woodwork is generally measured in terms of cubic meter. In terms of cubic meter. Next, question number 4. Quantity of earthwork in filling is equal to, quantity of earthwork in filling is equal to 1/3 of each work in excavation, 1/5 of earthwork excavation, 1/2 half of earthwork in excavation. Quantity of earthwork in excavation. Which is the correct answer? Option number 2. 1/5 of earthwork in excavation is the correct answer. 1/5 of earthwork in excavation is the correct answer. Now move on to question number 5. Move on to question number 5. Area shall measured correct to the nearest. Area shall measure correct to the nearest value. Area shall measure correct to the nearest value. Answer: 0.005 meter square, 0.001 meter square, 0.01 meter square, 0.02 meter square. Correct answer is 0.01 meter square. Next, question 6. Pick up the correct statement from the following. Glazing is measured in meter square. Plastering is measured in meter square. Pointing is measured in meter square. All the above. Which is the correct statement? All are correct. Option number 4, all the above, is the correct statement. Now, option number 7. Floor finish shall measured in dash. Floor finish shall measured in dash. Option number 1, meter square. Option number 2, meter cube. Option number 3, no unit. Option number 4, none of the above. Which is the correct answer? Floor finish shall measured in which is the correct answer? Correct answer is option number 1, meter square. Square meter is the correct answer. Floor finish shall measured in square meter. Next, question number 8. Pick up the correct statement from the following. Pick up the correct statement from the following. First one, stonework is measured in square meter. Stonework is measured in square meter. Plastering is measured in meter cube. Brickwork is measured in meter cube. All the above. Which is the correct statement? Which is the correct statement? Correct statement is option number 3. Option number 3 is the correct answer. Option number 3. Brickwork is measured in meter cube. Plastering is always measured in meter square. Stonework is measured in meter cube, but it is mentioned here meter square. Therefore, correct answer is brickwork is measured in meter cube. Next, question number 9. Earthwork excavation shall measured in option number 1, square meter. Option number 2, cubic or meter cube. Option number 3, meter. Option number 4, running meter. Which is the correct answer? Which is the correct answer? Earthwork excavation shall be measured in option number 2, cubic is the correct answer. Cubic is the correct answer. Now, last question. Question number 10. Pick up the correct statement from the following. Pick up the correct statement from the following. First one, RCC slab is measured in meter square. RCC beam is measured in meter cube. Flooring is measured in meter cube. All the above, which is the correct statement? Which is the correct statement? Option number 2. RCC beam is measured in cube. RCC beam is measured in meter cube is the correct answer. RCC slab is measured in meter cube, not meter square. Flooring is also measured in meter square. That should keep it in mind. Now, from this, you can conclude that RCC beam is correct answer. RCC beam is measured in meter cube. Okay, thank you. We will back soon on next session. Thank you all.